Hello, everybody. Every week I'm going to be releasing announcements as a video, and then I'll put together a document that'll go in the weekly module where you could read through the announcements. The idea of these weekly announcements are just to make sure that we're all on the same page, let you know of any cool discoveries that are happening in the astronomical world, if there are any, and really just make sure that we're moving through this class as we should be and keeping on pace with things and letting you know if there are quizzes, exams, homeworks, things like that that are going to be due anytime soon. So I want to go ahead and jump right into the announcements. So let me go ahead and get in presenter mode and we should be ready to go. And I'll have these every week for you. You can watch the video or you can just read through them. Please make sure that you do check in so you can see what's happening and make sure that you don't miss anything in class because this class is sort of on rails and we've already begun moving our way from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester. I want to make sure that everybody stays on board all the way to the very end so we can have a successful semester. One of the most important things that you can do is read the syllabus if you haven't done so. I highly recommend going through this. There are lots of course policies, and I try to be very explicit and give you explanations of why I'm instituting course policies as you go through the syllabus. It makes it a little bit of a long document. So break it out into chunks, read the major course policies, or go to Canvas and under the key course policies type module, the key course elements, go through and look at the various things. If you want to know what my grading policy is, things like that, or what the two attempt policy is. Make sure you know how to access the weekly modules. Make sure you know how to access the textbook. And one of the things I'm going to be doing is in the weekly README file, I'm going to be putting links. This is something I didn't have in the past, and I can't believe that I never thought about just putting the links to the textbook material right there in the README. But sometimes the simplest things evade even the best of us. But make sure you can access the textbook. You can access it from the front page or from the module course materials. That way you can go through the slides. And I do recommend that you go through the slides, at least read through them first, to be aware of what kind of vocab you're going to be encountering, what the concepts are, what the major topics are. But I really recommend that you go through them more than just a skim by taking a couple of notes, trying to master some of the vocabulary, writing those sorts of key things down before you watch the videos. And finally, make sure that you can access the semester schedule. That is the best way to keep up with what's happening in this class because it tells you what's happening and what is due when on a week by week basis all the way to the end of the semester. It gives you what slide numbers you should be going through. It is the link to actually following through with the weekly modules so you know what you should be looking at when. I released yesterday a video because I want to be very, very clear that you know how this asynchronous Astronomy 151 class works. So I released that video. It's in an announcement. It's also listed in a module so you can easily find it. Make sure that you go watch the Astronomy 151 and how it works video, or at least the first 10 minutes where I describe the sort of weekly flow and how you work through each weekly module and how every weekly module essentially contains everything that you need in this class. I go on for a little while longer, describing some of the course policies, the two attempt quiz and exam policy, for example, how I work extra credit in this class and all the ample opportunities for extra credit, and how I view the Canvas discussions and our chat features in the class. So be sure to watch that. You can break it out into chunks, but the first 10 minutes is absolutely critical if you're a little bit confused on how this class is going to proceed. Begin going through the slides for this week. We are going to go all the way through Unit 1, Part 1, where we'll actually talk about what astronomy is and what science is. And I really spend a good bit of time breaking down. We always say that astronomy is the study of the universe, and the universe is the sum total of space, time, matter, and energy. But rarely in an introductory class, and rarely even in high level classes, do you ever step back and try to take a whole view of what the heck do we mean when we say what is space, what is matter, what is time, things like that. And that's what Unit 1, Part 1 is all about. So go through all of those slides, 1 through 49. It also talks about what science is in general. And then we'll begin on Unit 1, Part 2 of our understanding of the night sky. So just a couple of slides to go through there, and we'll pick up in Unit 1, Part 2 in Week 3. Start watching the videos in the Week 2 module. This one should be a fairly obvious announcement, but it's good since this is the first announcement that I'm making to you all, that I should just be very explicit about that. And be sure to check out the weekly Canvas discussions. Those are the ones in Week 1 and Week 2. Since last week was the first week and it was half week, I'm just sort of lumping all that together. The reaction to our place in the universe video. That discussion has been delighting me. It's very, very active. I'm really, really happy to see that. Feel free to interact with one another. I love to see sort of nested where we have several people interacting. Go check to see if I replied to any of your comments. I've put some pretty lengthy replies on some of them. And then that way we can use those as a discussion and we can have people interact with one another, and we can push this as far as it can go to make this class more of an experience where you feel like you're engaging with the material and with your instructor and with your fellow classmates. And this announcement actually spills over to a second slide of announcements. So I want to make sure that you know that the week 2 module has links to a practice problem set. And that practice problem set covers the metric system and scientific notation. You can access that. It's available as a PDF, and it's available as a PDF with just the questions, which you should work through. And then you should access the answer key to check your work. And then you can iterate between those things so you feel like you understand what kind of questions I might ask about scientific notation in the metric system. And when we have math-based questions, I'll almost always have a practice problem set that goes along with it that you can work through so you can make sure that you're working through these things correctly and you know how to arrive at the correct answer. And also, since this is a part of the course we haven't seen yet, I am going to be releasing special topics discussions. There'll be at least one, sometimes more than one a week. There'll be more than one this week. There'll be one about the Carl Sagan's cosmic calendar. I'm not going to give that one away. And I plan on making one where we further explore what time is and taking a step back and maybe doing sort of a academic or knowledge scavenger hunt about where and how we define time. Where do our ideas of time come from, and how do we define time as humans? Why do we have a 12-hour day? What does AM and PM mean? Why do we have time zones? What is really going on with that? What is the definition of noon? So what is time, and why do we have 60 seconds in a minute? Where do we come up with these ideas? I'll also be releasing our astronomy in context video later this week. I hope to have something put together out by Thursday that will really put what we've been learning in context. And I'm really aiming on making this first one all about how astronomy is, as Carl Sagan says, one of the most humbling of all of the sciences. And I want to talk to you about what's called the overview effect, which is something that the astronauts, many astronauts who have been to outer space, have what is psychologically defined as a cognitive shift. How they actually perceive and have cognition of reality fundamentally shifts when they're able to see the world as a collective whole from outer space. Also, join the GroupMe in the Discord server for Astronomy 151. The links are right on the front page, and I have updated and verified the links, so they should get you to where you need to go. So those invitations are working. Both are pretty active. The Discord is looking like it's going to be a smaller, tighter knit community, at least for now, unless you log on and start using it. I really like the Discord just for the fact that I can type out answers. I'm much better at typing answers than pecking them out on a phone, and I use GroupMe on my phone while I use Discord on my laptop. And finally, the week 2 assignments. There's only one so far, so still just sort of wading in slowly into the semester, but the week 1 and 2 engagement exercise will be due this Sunday, the 31st of January at 11:59 p.m. It covers both week 1 and week 2 official course material. It's already available to you, so you can start working on it. You have an infinite number of tries, so you could just go through it, see what kind of questions are. It's mostly there to make sure you know what topics are covered and do sort of a quick information and knowledge check that you've actually been gaining the knowledge that I'm looking for you for on a week-by-week basis. And that's all I have for you. I hope you're enjoying the class so far. I hope you enjoy the videos, and be sure to be active in the live chats, features, and in the discussions. That's how we'll have a lot of interaction. And hopefully I'll see you in things like the Live with Dr. Lindsay sessions and stuff like that later this week.